back to my channel. Thank you for coming back and watching me struggle through these first 10 or 15 videos. But so sad. I just had an entire cup filled with tea for this video, and I had a mug and it all just fell over. I just tipped it over. So, but it's throat coat. It was throat coat medicine. It's by like Traditional Medicinals. It's like this tea company, and they make like herb filled teas, and they're supposed to like help you with like stress or like your throat. The throat coat is like the best one of all time. I sat down to film today because I'm literally getting ready for a music festival. So it's basically just a festival with like a bunch of different artists. Clearly that's what a music festival is, but it has, you know, like rap, country, EDM artists, so it's like really like sporadic, and you know, it's just like there's a bunch of different people. But I wanted to film a get ready with me for this video, but I also really want to do a favorites video, so I'm just gonna get ready with my favorites because I was gonna use them anyways to get ready. So let's jump on into the video. Okay, so I just washed my face off with, it's called the Cetaphil Daily Facial Cleanser. This has been one of my favorites for the past few months. I had a really bad issue with acne, and I seriously owe it to this thing for helping my skin balance out again. So if you guys are in the market for this, hopefully you are. It's only like $8. It's really like the best thing ever, and it's like in your local like grocery store or Walgreens or CVS or whatever like company you have in whichever state you're in. So it's really gentle cleanser, and I definitely recommend using that. But after I clean my face, I always go in with my favorite moisturizer. This is the Clinique Dramatically Different Moisturizing Gel. It's for a combination to oily skin. I know, I really like that it's like a gel-like consistency rather than like this is what it looks like, rather than a normal like moisturizer. It's seriously, I don't know, it just feels so good and so moisturizing. So seriously, I recommend getting it. I just have the tester version, so if you want to do that, I think it's like $14 at Sephora for like the little bottle, and it's lasted me like 3 months. So I mean, that's pretty good, and I'm only like halfway through it. Okay, so I'm gonna do my eyebrows right now. I use the Anastasia Dip Brow Pomade in the shade Blonde. I have an addiction to this stuff. Bought it like 2 weeks ago, and it's honestly incredible. And I use the Anastasia Beverly Hills chiseled angled brush, and then the spoolie. And if you're looking for a really good brush, this is the one. I'm gonna film my eyebrows off camera because it's just a pain to do it. I'm actually gonna film a whole new brow routine with this stuff, so don't you worry, it's definitely coming your way. But I'm gonna do this off camera and then come back and film the rest of my eyes. Alright, so we're gonna start on our eyes, and I'm gonna use Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. It works just as well as a primer. All I do is just like, you know, grab the applicator, put a few dots on my eyelids, and then rub it out with my beauty blender. I don't know why I love this method. I think it's because it's not as oily as like other primers are. So it's just like, I personally think this makes my eyeshadow last longer than like any primer that I've used. You don't have primer, it's not a big deal to just use concealer. It's clearly like I prefer it, and I've bought like every primer there is out there. So I'm going to use my favorite palette of the last few months, which is the Morphe 350 palette. I have the shimmer palette and the matte palette. It looks like this. I just love the array of colors that are in here. It's really perfect for like summertime or spring, even fall. Like, it really goes well with each season. And not to mention, the pigmentation is amazing for the amount. I spent like $50 on both palettes, this one and the shimmer palette. They came together in a package, but to be honest, that's so cheap compared to like how much you would spend on like a normal Naked palette or like the Anastasia one. I'm just gonna set my eyes with this color right here, this like vanilla shade. Setting my lid, I'm feeling like a super simple eye look today, so I'm going to be just using the Morphe palette because it's my favorite. And I'm going in with two of my favorite crease brushes. This is the Joe Fresh Crease Shadow Brush. You can get this at your like Nordstrom Rack. That's where I got mine. It was like $3. And then I'm using a Japanesque 835 brush, which is basically like a tapered crease brush as well. This one's kind of more precise, while this one is more flat up top and kind of just like blends everything out. I'm gonna go in with this this caramel looking color and just throw it into my crease. And I'm also gonna bring this kind of down low as well, because I'm gonna be doing like a smoky eye, like an all matte smoky eye. You'll see, you'll see. So I'm blending it down my lid as well. I'm gonna go in with this kind of warm orangey light brown color. Kind of matches my shirt, that's why I'm doing it. And I'm going in with a Morphe shader brush from the 18-piece vegan palette, which is also my favorite. I think if you're a beginner and you want a palette, the Morphe 18-piece vegan palette is really good. And I'm just patting this all over my lid. I'm going to go in with the Japanese brush that I was talking about earlier, and I'm going to dip into that color again. And this is going to kind of just hit my crease and blend those two colors together. Go back in with my Joe Fresh brush into that caramel color again, the lighter transition shade that I put in my crease, and just blend these two out. That's basically it for my eye look. I really didn't want anything crazy. I'm going to do my lower eyelash line in my inner corner in a few minutes, but I'm basically keeping it all matte. Like, I think even my inner corner highlight will be matte. Now that we're done with our eyes, we're going to head into my favorite products of the month for my face. Recently, I have been obsessed with the combination of these two. I'm obsessed with the Dream Cushion Foundation. It's a fresh face liquid foundation on the go. I definitely believe in that. It gives you like this fresh face, and it's not too heavy on my skin, and it also looks really good in pictures as well, like flash photography. So I definitely recommend this if you're kind of on a budget and need like a good like foundation from the drugstore. This definitely isn't going to give you full coverage, but it gives you like sort of basically what you need for an everyday occurrence. And if I have a little bit of a tan going on, like a slight tan, I'll use this Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless Foundation in the shade 128 Warm Nude. And I basically just mix these two together because this one's like when I'm at my palest, and this one is, let's be real, I don't ever get this tan, but it's like this is what I mix in with my paler foundations when I am tan. This causes like a lot of bacterial, but I'm the only one who uses this, so I basically just flip it over, put some on my finger, and then dab it on my face. And kind of work fast because it dries a little quick. And for the Maybelline Dream Cushion, I just dip my beauty blender, which my beauty blender is my favorite beauty blender I've ever used, or my favorite sponge I've ever used. I definitely recommend purchasing one. But I dip into the product, and then I just go like this. I love this packaging too because it has a mirror as well, so if you are really on the go and you need just like a touch up and you're not wearing any powder, it's really great. For your neck, to make sure none of the product is like sticking there, I kind of rub the sponge down and then dab it in, like to make sure that none of the product is like, you know, just like awkwardly there, and your friend won't tell you later like, hey, there's like this huge dark spot on your neck, and you're like, that's because I didn't blend well enough. Like, so excited for tomorrow though for this concert, because it's literally going to be like my boyfriend and I's like one of our favorite bands. It's more his favorite band, but when we started dating, I mean, you kind of start listening to the same music as your significant other. So I'm so excited. I'm really excited for him to see them because he's never seen them, so he's gonna love it. Alright, now that I'm done with foundation, I'm going to go into my favorite concealer of all time. This is the Tarte Shape Tape, which I use to prime my lids. Again, I wear it in the shade Light. I love this stuff. It's super full coverage and it blends like an absolute dream. And it's not one of those concealers that like dries super quickly, or it's not too runny. Like, it's kind of the perfect consistency. And it literally covers anything. Like, if you have dark circles, like I have friends who have like bad dark circles, and I use this on them and they're like, oh my gosh, like they completely went away. And I'm like, I know. I look like a war paint. War paint. Take what you want from me. I'll give you everything. I'm gonna set my face with my favorite powder of the month, and it's the RCMA No Color Powder. I have it in a Sonia Kashuk holder, but this is the RCMA No Color Powder. I believe it is like $10 for a whole thing of it. I ran out. I bought it like 2 years ago, but I ran out of it. And this is the last of it. Love this stuff. But I'm gonna set it under my eyes, and I just blend the powder in with my sponge. It's almost like baking, but not really baking. So I basically do this in all the areas where I put concealer. And then I go in with a big brush and then put a little bit more to set the rest of my face. When you're applying powder, make sure to dab it. Dab it around, because you won't move around the product if you're like swirling it everywhere. I'm gonna go in with my favorite bronzer of the past like 6 months, which is the Hoola bronzer, and I have it in this Cheek Foam palette. I'm absolutely obsessed with this palette. It comes with like 3 cheek colors, and then this Rocketeer. It's also a blush as well with like sparkles in it. My 2 favorites in this palette are probably this one and this one because they flatter me the most. And then I just clean that contour up with some RCMA No Color Powder. I just dip into it like so and just go underneath the contour. And this kind of just helps the contour appear a little bit sharper than it did before. And I don't put that on there so long because, I don't know, I just blend it away. Now we're gonna go for blush. And I'm gonna go in with this blush right here. The Dallas blush by by Benefit. These blushes aren't super pigmented in the Cheekathon palette, but I kind of like it because it allows you to build it up instead of like accidentally swiping a really pigmented blush on your face and regretting it. Steve, on a scale of 1 to 10, how pretty am I?
12.
A 12. I'm gonna go ahead and highlight, like I was saying before. Highlight my inner corner and the bottom lash line. So I'm gonna go in with these 2 like tapered, thicker pencil brushes by Morphe. This one I'm going to use to highlight my inner corner. Clearly it's like all white, and this one I always use to blend out my lower lash line. And I'm basically just going to dip into that caramel color and that orangey brown looking color right there and just throw it under. And I just mix them. Just mixing them together, just getting it brewing. I just throw it under here, like so. we're gonna go in with this NYX Liquid Crystal Body Liner. I didn't know it was body liner. Dramatic Sparkle Studio Effect. But I go in with this, and I have been doing this like every single day for the past month, and I'm obsessed with how it looks. But I basically go in, and from like my inner corner on my bottom lash line over to like almost halfway on my bottom lash line, I just kind of put this, put it on there. Now for lips, because I'm going to do my mascara off camera because I really don't have a favorite for mascara this month. I also wanted to mention this too. It's the NYX Soft Liquid Matte Lipstick in the shade Abu Dhabi. This is probably one of my favorite colors. If this Kimberly lipstick doesn't look good, I might throw this on. Yeah. But I'm going to throw some Abu Dhabi on top. Okay, so I just put mascara on, and I totally forgot to put on highlighter. So I'm going to be using my favorite highlighting palette. I've done a lot of damage with this. This is for a luminizing palette. If you're interested in highlighters that are cheap but actually highlight your face and are pigmented, definitely consider getting this one. I'll show you here. I think it's definitely just as good as the Becca highlighters, stuff like that. So. And it's super affordable too. It's only like $24, and I've told a lot of people to get it that I know, and they all like end up thanking me when they do go out. So I'm gonna set my face with my favorite setting spray. This is the NYX Matte Finish setting spray. I do have to say that if you can afford the Makeup Forever setting spray, I would get that one. I think that one is the best one I've ever used. I just couldn't really afford that one, so I think this is a pretty good dupe for it. So okay guys, so that sums up my get ready with me / favorites video. These favorites have definitely been either my favorites for the past 3 months, or if they've been my favorites for the past couple weeks. But I will try and get on to a monthly routine of adding favorites. I've just been so busy lately with school and everything. So stay tuned for those, and I'll be doing a lot more get ready with me's because, I don't know, they're just more fun than just voicing over a video. But I hope you guys enjoyed this look. I'm super excited for my music festival that I'm about to go to. I have a bunch of exciting new videos coming up, like an eyebrow routine. Probably will do the review for the KKWs. And probably skincare routine as well. So stay tuned. Thank you guys for watching, and I love you all. Bye.